to say this directly, and I want to say this clearly. If you are a NYCHA resident, we want and welcome your stories at the rental ripoff hearings.
We don't want stories. We want you to listen.
And we
want you to listen, Mayor.
That is
we
exactly
want you to listen.
New York City's Mayor Mamdani initiated a series of hearings throughout the 5 boroughs, and the purpose of these hearings are to hear tenant complaints regarding landlord neglect and repairs not being made, and the hazardous conditions tenants were made to live in. These conditions have been long ignored, creating a normalization of hazardous living conditions and abuses for which tenants had no recourse for action against the landlord, irregardless to how outrageous their living conditions might be. The intent of these hearings are to receive feedback from tenants to allow the creation of policy to protect the tenant against landlord abuses and neglect. Tenants attending these hearings are able to sit down one-on-one to share their living conditions with city officials such as HPD. The complaints will then be documented, with a report being issued 90 days at the conclusion of these hearings. However, residents within the New York City Housing Authority, better known as NYCHA, were not invited to participate in these hearings. They are demanding to be heard just like all the other tenants. And while the mayor insists that they too can be heard, they have had to hold their own meetings in order to do so. And if their complaint is taken concerning a repair, it's taken in the same manner that they themselves would take it while sitting at home, by calling NYCHA customer service and generating a ticket for the repairs needed. There are some repairs that can be expedited if given directly to a NYCHA official, and the mayor did advise that NYCHA officials would be present in order to take those complaints. But the objective appears to be being heard, not simply making a complaint, because the need exists to tell exactly what they've been dealing with while required to pay rent each month on time. And from what I've seen, and from what you all will see in this video, why shouldn't it be made public? Why is the tenant required to keep it a secret, as if it's something they themselves have done? It is embarrassing as hell to have to showcase in the media raw sewage running down your hallway due to an uncorrected faulty pipe. But they would have you live in it till they got around to fixing it. And all while expecting you to pay them rent. The footage in this video doesn't even begin to tell the story. And even if a complaint is taken and addressed at these hearings, will that bring relief to NYCHA residents in general, or just the ones able to speak to a NYCHA official? And will those tenants who are invited to participate get the relief that's needed, or be given policy, which the city will be asked to follow? Because they are there seeking relief, not policy. And the same is true for NYCHA residents who have exhausted every means available, including media, in order to get the relief that's needed.
Good evening, everyone.
Public housing first, Mayor. Public housing first.
It is a pleasure
Public housing
to be
first,
here
Mayor.
joining us at our city's
Public
third
housing
ever
first.
rental ripoff hearing.
Public housing first, Mayor.
I know that for far too long, NYCHA residents have been dismissed and have been neglected. And I know that not only have NYCHA residents faced chronic disinvestment, they have also come to expect little from a city government that has constantly turned a blind eye to disrepair. And so for too many New Yorkers who do live in NYCHA housing, the legacy of living in that housing has been a legacy of being ignored. And I say all this to say that our administration understands its responsibility very clearly. It is a responsibility to rewrite that legacy. And so I want to be very clear, because in our world of politics, there is so much that is said. I want to say this directly, and I want to say this clearly. If you are a NYCHA resident, we want and welcome your stories at the rental ripoff hearings.
We don't want stories. We want you to listen.
And we
want you to listen, Mayor.
That is
we
exactly
want you to listen to public
and we are
housing.
committed to delivering the improvements that NYCHA residents deserve. And we are committed to doing that together.
Mayor Mamdani's rental ripoff hearings start tomorrow. But one of the city's largest group of tenants, NYCHA residents, say they are being left out.
I think it's we pay our rent. We should allow to come to any meeting they have.
Here's the situation. The mayor says these rental ripoff hearings are intended to shape future policy in the city and hold private landlords accountable. But NYCHA tenants say NYCHA is an important landlord. In fact, one of the worst in the city, as stated by the public advocate.
Number one worst, I don't want to forget that, is NYCHA. The worst actual owner is New York City.
The mayor's office has said that there will be separate meetings in the future for NYCHA residents.
Your platform was that everyone will be included, and we are not included as public residents, public housing residents. We are people too.
The first town hall meetings he decides to host is about landlords. But he forgot to deal with the landlord in his own backyard.
NYCHA residents claim they've been left out.
I heard from the mayor's office, and they say, well, NYCHA residents is not excluded from the conversation. But NYCHA residents wasn't included in the conversation.
Mayor Mamdani's rental ripoff hearings were created to give renters a platform, a chance to tell city leaders about the conditions they're living in, like lack of heat, leaks, mold, and other dangerous conditions, and to call out bad landlords. They claim they weren't directly invited like how other tenant association groups from private buildings were. A City Hall spokesperson says the mayor has been clear that no one will be turned away at the hearings. But NYCHA residents say they've been complaining about housing issues for years, and that they also want to be heard. So they held their own meeting in the Bronx at the Kips Bay Boys and Girls Club at the Throgs Neck houses. There were about 50 people who showed up. Michelle Solomon, who lives at the Castle Hill houses, was one of them.
Now we have mice and roaches, and they come in from underneath her door. I can't live like that. You know, they're all over my clothes.
Residents say the problems in public housing are some of the worst in the city, and they wanted a seat at the table.
Most of the tenants have tickets that was made for complaints since 2019, and the repairs still haven't been made.